Hi, it's Adele from Get Gorgeous. Diets and happiness don't mix. Diets and a happy, healthy mindset do not go together. You know that. Did you notice the most miserable day of the year? Or did it pass you by? I hope it passed you by. The whole point about diets is that they really push you into something you don't want to do. Of course you want to feel healthier, of course you want to lose weight, but actually forcing you into doing something is not good for your mindset. Your body will, and your mind more importantly, will challenge it. So diets appeal in the first instance because we're so busy and they tell you what to do. They give you a prescription. It's almost like giving you a pill. They give you a prescription, they give you a program, they tell you how to eat, they tell you what to eat, they tell you when to eat. It's all about control. It's all about penance and feeling guilty, and that erodes your self-esteem. Instead of doing something like that, why don't you try a habit? Why don't you try something that's going to last a lifetime? Something small that's going to help. Research has proven that most people try to diet 4 or 5 times a year. So what does that tell you? If you're attempting a diet 4 or 5 times and it's not happening, it's not working, that's the sign of craziness. How come you can achieve so much in other areas of your life? Really successful perhaps in your home life or your career or whatever it is that you really do well in, and yet this one thing still bugs you. You've still got this feeling that you're not living your right life. You're not really feeling good about yourself on that deep, deep level. Maybe you're not willing to show up in front of people in public or do a speech or land on a stage or on camera. In fact, it's holding you back. It's holding you back from the success that you really are. It's putting you off your best life. You're not feeling that you're representing yourself in the world, maybe because you feel tired or achy or just not happy. And it all comes down to beating ourselves up, this whole self-esteem thing that happens when you're trying to pursue that ultimate goal of losing weight and feeling healthy. Now, the reason that we diet, Gretchen Rubin talks about the 4 tendencies, personality types that can be dropped into 4 different tendencies. I'd love to know which one appeals to you. Which one are you? Are you a questioner? If somebody tells you to do something, you go, okay, but why are you saying that? What is the scientific proof behind that? Are you a questioner? Or maybe you are a rebel. Maybe you're someone that says, you're going to tell me to do this, well, I'm going to do something else. So you've never dieted. You're a rebel. Or perhaps you are an upholder. Somebody that holds the rules. I'm very good at upholding the rules. I do all the rules and I make some more rules for myself. I am an upholder. I like the rules. In my own life, I set the rules. But most people are the 4th one of these personality types, obligers. We do things because we feel obliged to do it, and that's where the problem lies. You're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it because other people tell you to do it. The second reason that diets don't work is because everybody reacts differently. You know that your body reacts very differently than your best mates. You know, how come they can be skinny and you can't? For me, it's alcohol. Just can't cope with it. You know that some people can work really well on alcohol, other people can't. Some people are really affected by sugar. Some people are really affected by junk food and other people don't. So everybody reacts in a chemistry way very, very differently. So you know that. You can be possibly an abstainer or a moderator. So you can absolutely abstain from the food or the alcohol or whatever it is that's causing you problems, or you can moderate it. And you need to know that about yourself. Can you abstain? Can you moderate? So let's talk briefly about what's happened over the last 50 years and the chemistry of your body. And 1994 was a very important year for chemistry, because we found out in terms of biology of a new hormone. And the hormone was called leptin. And leptin, as you probably heard, is the hormone that makes you feel full. So after you've had a big meal, your fat cells, little fat cells, create this little hormone called leptin. Bing, 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 bing. And you go, I'm full. I've had enough. But what they found in 2004 was that leptin is being overworked. It is actually becoming blocked. There is so much sugar and glucose in our lifestyle, in our diet now, that leptin is just not working. Refined flour means that all of our hormones are being affected. And we have more insulin in our system, in our bodies, than we did in the 1960s. Do you know how much more? 200 to 300 times more insulin in our body. And insulin is going to stop you from feeling well. Too much insulin means that you cannot concentrate, you cannot focus, you lack motivation, and therefore you cannot be productive. So we did experiments in laboratories, and they found that rats will break down into 3 different groups. When they hear a bell, or when they see a lever, some rats will rush to the food. They're called food rushers. I can relate to that. Other rats can go, I'll take it or leave it. Can't relate to that. So some people can just go, no, not that interested, I can leave it. Amazing. And then there's others, or other rats, that actually fell in love with the lever. What does that say? Looking for a relationship, looking for something. But these rats became addicted. They became addicted to this behaviour. So that's what happens to us when we're eating a lot of sugar, with the processed food that we're eating, the refined flour that we're eating, our insulin levels are so high. So rather than keep forcing yourself to do something you don't want, rather than pushing against your biology and your chemistry and how it's changed in the last 50 years, do something different. The diet must have failed by now. You must have gone off the rails, I'm sure. Middle of January, end of January, it starts to go very, very wrong. So how are you feeling about that? Well, I would encourage you to create a habit, a small one. Go to my website, get-gorgeous.com/healthy tools, and you'll find a whole list of tools, habits that you can start right away. I am going to do my next reset as well in February. So if you're interested in that, then go to the website or click the link before. Being on a diet is all about willpower. It's forcing you, it's pushing you, it's controlling, it's penance, it's guilt. They're all the wrong words if you want to have a happy, healthy mindset. Take care. I'm Adele from Get Gorgeous. I'll speak to you soon.